Very good morning, children. Sit down and settle down. And so how are you all feeling? Fine. Do you know what we are going to do today in literature class? No, we are going to read a poem. But before I tell you which poem we will read, I would like to share with you a very beautiful, relevant passage on what poetry is all about and the marvel that a poem can be, and it is, and all that it does to us as the readers, and all topics under the sky on which poetry can be written. Okay? So before we actually start reading the poem, I would like to read that passage to you. Ready? Just pay attention and just try to let it sink into your consciousness. A poem can be many things, said in many ways. It can speak softly, like a quick fluttering in the stillness, or it can speak out like a fist beating against the ear. It can concern everything from animal crackers and circuses to cruel injustice to horrible deaths. It can be a laugh, a cry, a song, a curse. It can reflect the stench of hate or the freshness of love. It can be an adventure, a sentiment, an observation or a comment. It can be as various as all the things real and unreal that all people in this world can feel, imagine and express. Understood the passage? Partially or fully? Well, how did you like it? What do you feel about it? Tell me, how do you feel after having heard the passage? Yes, Swami.
Now, one can express his feelings through poetry, give vent to emotions, and it's not necessary that it has to be about something happy or sad. It can be anything and everything.
It can be anything and everything. How many of you write poems? Oh, the entire class writes poems. Then since you all are poets, you will not have any difficulty in understanding the poem that I am going to teach. But before that, there's a picture for you. Have a look. This is a picture which abounds in natural beauty. Lush greenery, undulating meadows, lengthening shadows, luxuriant vegetation, cool breeze, whispering silence, a few stolen moments. Are you transported to this world of natural beauty? Yes? Well, if you are asked what kind of ideas, thoughts or emotions are evoked in you through this picture, what will you say? You'll have to think for a while. Maybe you'll have to look at the picture more carefully and tell me that if I want to find you somewhere in this picture, with what idea, feeling or thought would you be standing? Yes? Very good. So many hands raised. Yes, Devika.
Ma'am, a sense of freedom.
Sense of freedom. You get a sense of freedom when you look at this picture. Very good. Yes, Vasudha.
Ma'am, this is how I would picture heaven.
This is how you would probably conceptualize heaven. Very good. Yes, Anjana.
Ma'am, the pristine beauty.
The pristine beauty. Yes. Yes, Aishwarya.
Ma'am, I think it would probably give me a feeling of utter peace.
It would give you a feeling of utter peace. Away from the?
Just away from city.
Away from the life of city. Okay. So these are the things that come to your mind when you look at this picture, and many more, I'm sure, if you try to really take yourself into this heaven, as Vasudha said. Okay, now I'm going to tell you which poem we are going to read today from our textbook. The poem that we are going to read is The Solitary Reaper written by William Wordsworth. This is the poem that I am going to read with you today. Okay? And for that, what is the first thing that you are supposed to do? I am going to read the poem aloud to you. And you will just try to listen to it carefully and feel the music. Let the music ring in your ears and see the patterns that the poem has described on the page. Okay? I've got a reproduction of the poem here for all of you to see. Can you all see the poem clearly? Okay. Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary Highland lass, weeping and singing by herself, stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. No nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old unhappy far-off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again? Whatever the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. I listened, motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. Long after it was heard no more. How did you like the poem? Is it beautiful? Yes. Okay. What is it? I mean, how will you probably express your emotions, your feelings on having read the poem or heard the poem as read by me? How will you express? What emotions, what feelings, what ideas and thoughts are evoked in you?
It is indeed a beautiful poem, and as it is read, it seems as if it's not the words that you hear, but the melody. And the poet's effort to bring alive nature and his choice of words is indeed creditable.
Okay. What about the theme? Do you think the topic or the theme of the poem is familiar or unfamiliar?
Familiar.
Is the language simple or very complex?
Simple.
Can you recognize the images, or you can't just recognize any of the images because you cannot relate to them? You can recognize the images. Now when you know that the theme is simple, when you know that the language also is simple and you are able to recognize the images, let us go ahead with reading an explanation of the poem, stanza by stanza, verse by verse. Okay, open your books on page 44. Now here, if the first stanza starts from behold and it ends at overflowing with the sound, I want you all to read it by yourself, silently, for half a minute, and then tell me a few things I want to ask. Yeah, finish reading. Okay, can you tell me what is the image described here? Image. Do you know what image means? Is this word part of your understanding? What does image mean? It means word picture. And imagery is a collection of images. In the first stanza, there is a very significant image. Can you tell me what it is? Nikhil.
Ma'am, the image that comes to our mind is that there is a young girl who is alone in the field and she is reaping the grain, and along with that she is singing just for herself. Ma'am, the surroundings are very beautiful with lush greenery and snow-covered mountains, and the song is about nothing joyous. Ma'am, it's a very sad song.
Okay, how do you know that the song she's singing is not joyous? It's a sad song. Melancholy. The word melancholy tells you that it is not a joyous song, it's a sad song. He also pointed out one thing, that she's singing alone. Which are the words in this stanza that tell you that she's alone? She doesn't have any companion. Okay. Yes, Danish.
The words single,
Mm-hmm.
solitary,
Mm-hmm.
and by herself,
Mm-hmm.
and alone.
Single, solitary, by herself,
And alone.
and alone. These are the words that indicate that she is all alone and she's singing to herself. What effect does it have on you as the readers? What effect does this particular idea have on you? Yes, Harini.
Ma'am, I think that as these words say that she's alone in the field,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, this shows that she is singing all to herself and not to please someone else.
Not to please anyone. She's not singing for the applause of any audience. She's singing for her own pleasure, maybe to give vent to her own feelings, right? So she's singing such a beautiful song, not for the sake of others, but for herself. It's something very significant that you must remember. We go on to the second stanza. Read the stanza silently, by yourself. I can see that some have finished reading. Okay, so the second stanza also has some very important images. Okay, which are the images in this stanza? Anand.
Ma'am, the first image that we see is that of the tired travelers in the Arabian sands.
Right.
That is the deserts of Arabia. And ma'am, the nightingale, which is considered to be one of the birds with the sweetest voice, sort of rejuvenates and soothes these travelers.
Very good. Very good. Sit down. And what is the other image? What is the second image? If at all there is. Yes, Anjana.
Ma'am, in the second image, the poet describes the song of the cuckoo bird, and he says that it's so beautiful that it possesses the power to break the silence of the vast sea. And he compares the song of the reaper to that of the bird, and he says that it's as beautiful as the cuckoo.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I know you have a question. You have something to clarify. But before that, I would like to show you the pictures of the two birds that we have talked about, nightingale and cuckoo. Can you identify the nightingale? Which is the nightingale? This is the nightingale and this is the cuckoo. And they are the sweetest singing birds of nature. So the reaper's song has been described by the poet as beautiful as the song of the sweetest singing birds of nature. And Mohit has something very significant to tell us. Yes.
Ma'am, I think that there is also a difference between the song of the solitary reaper and the cuckoo, because even though the song of the reaper is beautiful, it has a sad tone attached to it.
Okay.
But the song of the cuckoo is quite thrilling, and something that's thrilling can never be sad.
Oh, do you agree with him? I think he has a point to make, isn't it? And we all would agree with him that since she's singing a sad song, there is a difference in the song of the reaper and the cuckoo, and that is that cuckoo sends a wave of excitement across the silent seas, whereas the song that the reaper is singing is melodious but has sad undertones. Okay, so this is a contrast which is very important. Yes, Nidhi also has something to say.
Now, this line out here says that no nightingale is ever sad.
Mm-hmm.
So, doesn't that mean that the Reaper's song was even better than that of the
You think so? Yes. Okay. So the reaper's song was even better than the song of the nightingale and the cuckoo. Such is the pedestal on which the poet has placed his observation, the confidence that he has on the song he's hearing and the music that is ringing in his ears. We go on to the next stanza, third stanza, and I want you all to read it by yourself. Finish reading, I can see that. Will no one tell me what he sings? What is the poet's problem? The problem is that he is not able to understand the content of the song of the reaper. He can't understand the words of the song of the reaper. For that, he makes various assumptions, isn't it? And he raises many possibilities. Now, which are the lines that tell you that he raises various possibilities? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow, and after that, all these other things that he says could be the probable theme or topic of the Song of the Reaper. Now, can you tell me which are the things, what are the assumptions he makes? For old, unhappy, far off things, what does this indicate? Yes, Banish?
For old, unhappy, far off things suggests that she might be singing about a disaster or calamity in the past.
Okay, she might be singing about a disaster or a calamity in the past. Very good. That is the first idea. That is the first suggestion. The second suggestion is, and battles long ago. What does this suggest? Okay, yes, Devika.
An important historical event.
An important historical event. Very good. Which is the third line that indicates, suggests something about the theme of the song. Or is it some more humble way, familiar matter of today? Yes, Ritika?
And the theme could be a mundane routine affair.
The theme could be a mundane routine affair, something that happens to all of us with everybody, isn't it? Mundane routine affair. And there is yet another suggestion. What is that? Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again. Yes, Varun?
Ma'am, death or illness of a loved one.
Death or illness of loved one, which is something very personal. She might have had probably something, a loss or a pain in the past, which is going to come back to her. So, death or illness of loved one. So these are the themes that probably could have made up the Song of the Reaper. These are the possibilities he raises and the assumptions he makes. Go on to the last stanza and read it silently. Whatever the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. And the poet is standing there, motionless and still. Why is he motionless and still? Why is the poet standing motionless and still? Yes, Shikha.
The poet is standing motionless and still because he doesn't want to describe the Reaper from the song nonsense. Because if she finds out that somebody is listening, she might stop.
Stop singing. Very good. He doesn't want to disturb her, isn't it? Doesn't want to disturb her. Why do you think in the last stanza the poet is standing motionless and still? What is the significance of motionless and still? Why is he standing motionless and still? Shikha.
The poet is standing motionless and still, so that he doesn't make the Reaper aware of his presence. Because she might stop singing if she may, because she's singing for herself and not to please anyone.
Very good. So she's oblivious of the presence of any listener, and he doesn't want to make her aware of it. What is the other reason? Is there any other reason why he's motionless and still? Everybody knows. Banish.
Ma'am, it is also because he's spellbound by the beauty and the melody of the song.
He's spellbound. He's absolutely enthralled by the beauty of her voice and the melody of the song. And for these two reasons, he's motionless and still. And in the end, what does he do? Cherishing the memory of the song in his heart, he resumes his walk. Right? Now, do you think the last two lines are very beautiful? So why do you think these last two lines are the most beautiful lines of the poem? Yes, Ankita.
When they talk about how the melody has been embedded in his memory, and by the end of the poem, we develop a kind of oneness with the poem, and we can feel the aura around us.
Very good, very good. We can feel the aura around us of the ambience, of the atmosphere created by the poet. Can you tell me that this motionless and still had a reference in the first stanza to a particular expression which talked about a similar thing, that he doesn't want to disturb the Reaper? Can you tell me which expression was it that takes us back to the same idea? Samya.
Stop here or gently.
Stop here or gently pass. Can you see this? Stop here or gently pass. Now gently pass is he doesn't want the Reaper to be disturbed by anybody. And so he says, if you don't want to stop to listen to the song, just pass by gently without disturbing her. How did you like the poem? No. It's very nice. Okay. We will have a quick recapitulation of the poem. I will quickly revise it for you to remember what were the things that were contained in it, and then after that, you will probably do an assignment for me. So, there is the poet. He is walking through the mountains. Okay? Down in the valley there, he sees a reaper, a young highland lass who is bending over her sickle, reaping and binding the grain. He is totally, completely captivated by the sight and also by the song that she's singing. For whom? Herself. She's singing something to herself, oblivious of the presence of any audience, of any passerby. And she's singing such a beautiful song that when the poet stops to listen to the song, there is a flash of ideas, feelings and emotions across his mind. And he's reminded of the most beautiful singers of nature, the nightingale and the cuckoo. The nightingale, which rejuvenates, revitalizes, refreshes the tired travelers in the deserts of Arabia. And cuckoo, which sends a wave of excitement, whose song is so thrilling that it breaks the silence of the seas and heralds the spring, which is a sign of hope, joy and life in the lives of people. And then he wants to know, he's very disappointed, he wants to know what is she singing, what is she trying to sing, but he's not able to comprehend the words of the song. So he makes various assumptions, and from assumptions which are of universal concern to some very personal loss or pain of the reaper. And then finally in the last stanza, which we again consider to be the most beautiful stanza, he cannot stop there for all times to come. Can he stop there forever and say, oh, the song is so beautiful that I don't want to go? No. The song doesn't seem to end, but he has to go on because he has other important things to attend to. So, with that memory of the melody of the song in his heart, okay, he moves on, he resumes his walk, and he says, though I have left this place, but I will never be able to forget what I have heard and seen today. With this suggestion, he leaves and the poem comes to an end. Right? Now, I have something for you to do. That is a question which I want you all to write. The answer to which you have to write. But tell me, is there anything that comes to your mind after having read the poem? Soumya?
Ma'am, it leaves me with a desire to know what exactly could have troubled us so much that he sang a song which had such a deep impression on.
Very good. Yes, Ankita, you are also raising your hand there.
No, I envy the reaper.
You envy the reaper. She envies the reaper. That's the mood she's left in. Envy. Okay. Yes, Vasudha also.
Ma'am, it leaves me with a feeling of nostalgia because the song is so beautiful that you really don't want to come out of that atmosphere, that feeling.
Okay, so it leaves you in a mood of nostalgia. Oh, I wish I were there, and if at all I am not there, I want to go back. I want to go back. Yes, Aishwarya.
Ma'am, it leaves me with a feeling of regret. It's such an ordinary thing, a girl singing in a field, and we all must have seen it so many times, and we never saw so much beauty in it.
Very good. Isn't it? Don't you think so? That we are not really observant enough to be able to get everything from our surroundings and be able to write probably poems on it. If not poems, at least to feel it, sensitize ourselves to our surroundings, to small little things in our life, isn't it? So she's left with a feeling of regret. Very good. Wonderful ideas I've got. I'm very happy with the response that you have given to this poem. And now it's time to take down the question. In a paragraph, write about the total effect of the solitary reaper. In a paragraph, write about the total effect of the solitary reaper. First, describe the overall impact on you. Then give examples. Then give examples of the sounds and imagery used in the poem. I hope you all have understood the question. Okay? So, think about it, ponder over it, Good luck and good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.